There he is. And there it is. Look at this.
Wow.
Look at that.
Baby. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
This is our car!
Well, we are officially car owners.
We are Prius owners.
Prius owners.
Oh.
This is...
Let's drive it home and go lay in the back.
Oh my god. Hello, team.
Hey, so, we bought a Prius. There it is!
Uh-huh.
Well, it's kind of dirty.
So if this is the first that you're hearing about this whole adventure, Leah and I have decided to live out of this Prius for an entire year as we drive down to Mexico and back.
We're literally driving here and Levi was like, are we crazy?
I have to let you know that this video is sponsored by Fan City Credit Union. They're an amazing financial institution that we've been banking with for a while now, and we're going to talk about them later in the video.
But you were probably wondering why we bought a Prius and not a larger vehicle. We're going to live in it for a year. We'll give you a full breakdown of that right now. So we've been looking at different Priuses for about a month now and tried lots of different models, including the Prius V, which does have more room. Levi's mom had the best idea. She's like, why don't you just see if there's a moto that's a Prius V so you can like lay down in the back and see if it will be a good vehicle. So here it is.
And there it is. So this is the Prius V, which is just a slightly larger version of the original Prius. It doesn't get quite as much gas mileage as the Prius does, but it does have a huge badonk. Look at that back end.
Ooh, I'll back it up.
Oh yeah, and the car is good too.
Levi!
It is definitely bigger. The problem with this vehicle is that it is very hard to find. The Prius V was discontinued in 2018 or something, and so there's only 5 years of this thing available on the road, and so when you do find them, very often they are very expensive, and we haven't found any that are in our price range, sadly, so this might be a bit of a pipe dream.
So when we saw this one come up from a very nice man named Griffin, we were stoked. It only had 115,000 kilometers on it, and it's like in mint condition.
But the number one reason why we bought this car is because of its fuel efficiency. We are going to be covering a lot of ground on this road trip, as you may have seen from our previous video, and the difference between a fuel efficient car and a less fuel efficient car is going to make a huge financial and environmental difference.
What we realized when we did our camper van adventure a few summers ago is that there's this dichotomy between freedom and comfort.
This is a big vehicle.
Whoop.
Holy
Okay. When we were in that larger camper van, we were super comfortable. It was like the size of a small apartment, basically. But you couldn't get to as many places because, understandably, you have this massive vehicle. Something that is really nice about the Prius is that it gives us a lot of freedom. We don't have as many creature comforts. We just can't fit as much stuff in this little package, but we get to go basically anywhere we want, and that's what we're really looking for in this trip.
On this trip, we know we want to visit a lot of urban centers and a lot of cities, and when you drive a big, hunky vehicle like one of those vans, it can be a lot more difficult to just do the things you want to do in some cases. Another huge reason why we chose this car in particular is because of its reliability. If you look at Consumer Reports for most reliable car overall in this age range, this car is pretty well top of the list year over year. Because we're going to be living in this thing, the last thing we want is for it to break down somewhere random where we're stranded, and so this vehicle is probably our best bet when it comes to that.
And while this car may give us a lot of freedom and it may be very reliable, it needs to be able to fit all of our stuff. And by stuff, I mean Levi.
Yeah.
So let's show you.
All right, so this is the back of the car, a very important component of whether or not this thing will even work. Yes, I can fit laying down in the back of this vehicle, but it has a bunch of really cool features built in that make it functional. Like, look at the size of this storage area. Like, this is an absolutely massive area that we are calling the pantry, or the basement, or the garage. We haven't quite settled on anything there. There's also this secondary chunk here. Just a whole bunch of really usable space for our immediate needs. And if we actually need more, there's some underneath here as well. So we have a spare tire with a bunch of other room that we can use to put stuff that we don't need on a regular basis, I guess. Random, you know, maybe like emergency equipment or something.
Like jumper cables or extra ropes.
Stuff like that.
Another reason why we got this Prius in particular is cost. We wanted to be able to get a vehicle that actually fit our budget but met all of the other criteria that we had for it.
So before we bought the car, we headed down to Van City to get all of our affairs in order. So we just drove our Evo Prius to the bank where we're gonna buy our own Toyota Prius.
Yay!
So we bought the car using a bank draft from Van City, which is where we do all of our business banking.
Van City is a credit union, meaning that they are more invested in their communities literally than any other banking institutions.
Van City in particular donates 30% of their profit back into the communities they're a part of, and they've been leading the charge on sustainability for a very long time. One of their latest initiatives is to reach net zero by 2040 across all their mortgages and loans. And a big part of this is encouraging their customers and clientele to make more sustainable choices.
Something they launched to this end is called PlanetWise, which is specific low-interest financing for sustainable purchases and investments, including one for EVs and other forms of sustainable transportation. Where you put your money is almost as important as how you spend it, so please consider Van City or if there are other credit unions in your area.
If you want to check them out, there is a link down in the description where you might see some familiar faces. Leah and I are now Van City ambassadors, and they even put us on their website, which
We
is
made the website!
hilarious.
What picture did they use of us?
I don't know, it's really cute though.
Oh, I hope so.
Thank you so much to Van City for sponsoring this video and being the awesome institution that you are. And now let's give you a full tour of how we plan to build out our future Prius home.
Starting with our bedroom that we are sitting in currently.
Okay, so this is going to be our bedroom, our living room, our storage area, and, you know, everything else pretty well. While Leah fits in here very nicely and very conveniently, I am a little bit more tricky to work out.
However, it is 7 feet from the end here all the way to the front. So, Levi, being 6 foot, fits quite comfortably.
One of the biggest challenges that we're going to have with this setup is how we sleep and fit in the back of it. Right now we have the seats laid down in the back here, and as you can see with my feet all the way in, it's not exactly a perfect fit. So we are going to have a deck built into the back of this where the seats are right now.
So essentially we have to take the back seats out, and with the help of Levi's parents, we're going to build a deck that'll also work as storage for our clothes, camera equipment, things like that.
That is probably the most make or break in terms of this build, is figuring out how to make this part of the vehicle as functional as possible. So in here, behind the back seats, we are going to be putting various useful things, including a 12-volt fridge, so that we don't have to buy ice to keep our food cold while we're on the road.
I'm also trying to convince Levi that we should definitely bring the Ghana basket as a little pantry section that's gonna sit here.
I just feel like the Ghana basket's big and cumbersome. I just don't...
Think about how many picnics. We're gonna eat all of our meals outside. Oh, there's a car.
Now, building out the inside of the car is definitely going to be a bit of a process, but we knew from the beginning that we were going to need storage outside of the car. Now, everybody who I've talked to about this has said, just put a roof rack on it and call it a day. But I didn't want to do that because most of the fuel efficiency that the Prius gets is based on its aerodynamics, and so we're going to be trying to put a hitch-mounted cargo system on the back of this car.
And also, because it's Levi, he's like, why would I do the easy thing? Let's do the more ingenious but complicated thing.
What
So,
are you, what? It is... So what we're going to do is buy a hitch mount that we can put on the bottom of the car, and then we will have external storage that we can use. Thank you for the visualizations.
Hold on, tell them about how it's gonna move
Oh, okay.
on the box.
Yes, the box is going to swing away from the vehicle like so, and then we will, and then we'll have it as a cooking surface so that we can, God damn it.
It'll look just like that.
So inside the cockpit, we are going to be very particular about how we store and organize everything. We have 2 glove boxes.
Ooh.
But other than that, we really don't have a lot of storage up front, so it's going to be interesting to figure out how we manage ourselves and our things in this
Especially
space.
Water. We're gonna need to bring a lot of water with us, so maybe like a water jug behind the seat here, maybe a water jug at the feet here. In the middle of the car here, we have the console, which is a decent size, and I feel like we're gonna have a lot of our like daily things here.
I'm realizing that we're gonna have to like brush our teeth here, like in the cockpit of the car, basically.
Outside? Maybe our toothbrushes will go here? Or here? Or down here?
All to say, we are still kind of figuring this out as we go along.
We are planning to do a practice night out in the Prius to see how things work before we're on the road. I feel like we're gonna learn a lot from that experience.
Honestly, the more that we get into it, I'm like, what are we doing? But regardless, we want to thank you for watching this video, for taking some time out of your life to spend some of it with us. This is the beginning of probably an extended build series for this vehicle, so if you're interested in seeing more of it, please subscribe, and then you'll get notified when we upload a video.
And if you are subscribed, then we will see you in the next one.
Bye, friends. We love you.
Bye. Have a good day. Oh my god. Look at that.
Oh, she's trying it out. Look at that.
I'm kind of amazed.
Our solution.
I didn't think it was gonna fit that well, but I guess we'll have to go see if we can buy one new one.